how much fun it was and how the thrill of the racing and stuff. And I realize now that if I could pass that on to other people and see them progress from beginning to become an advanced driver is a lot of fun.
When he's not out at the track coaching driving, Jim's in the garage.
And so what we need to do is take the measurements, and then we'll take and cut it to whatever the total length is, and we'll have to do 2 bends to make it perfectly fit in there.
Showing new racers the ropes and offering encouragement.
And you'll be racing in no time.
Yeah. Jim says damage on some Copart cars should not intimidate racers looking for the perfect build.
We'll buy the car from Copart, we'll bring it here, and it's been a few times where it's turned out to be too nice.
But Jim has no problem at all helping his customers cut apart wrecks, put in roll cages, and hit the track. And sometimes even hit too hard.
We hope our customers have a good race and end up in a wreck, because that means more work for us.
Attaboy. Now, Jim's sold nearly all the cars that he's built, but he's hung on to a few special ones. We'll show you those later on Copart Sold in Seconds.
We like to do our viewers a favor and introduce a phrase that you may have heard but not know what it is. It's time for our term of the week. Expected future date. If an expected future date is listed, that means the vehicle hasn't been assigned to an auction yet. Chances are Copart's waiting on the title processing from the DMV, and when that's done, the vehicle's assigned to a sale. Here's an auction that does not have an expected future date because it's running now live on Copart.com. It's a 1999 Chevy K1500 Silverado.
In Indianapolis, where Duke just wrapped up the NCAA championship. Hey, and that's how quick it goes.
Now we're on to a 2008 Nissan Sentra. This one has some front end damage. See, somebody in Kentucky wants it.
That is, look, Kentucky's going for it in Indianapolis. So, man, I just want to jump in and start the bidding myself.
Interested in getting in on the Copart bidding action? Registration is easy and anyone can do it. Just go to Copart.com, click on How to Buy, sign up, and within seconds you'll be searching for your next vehicle. Welcome back to Copart Sold in Seconds. Our second Hot on the Block auction just happened, that 2006 BMW M5. You were looking at this one earlier, weren't you, Greg?
Yeah, full shizzle. Like I said before, this is a 2006 BMW M5. It's based on that E60 chassis. Now, it has an F1-inspired V10, which pumps out a piddly 507 horse and 380 foot-pounds of torque. 2010 BMW still using the E60, so this one still looks right on time. This whip was ready to drive straight off the Miami lot, and this is how the auction action happened.
Going once, going twice.
It started off at $29,000 from the preliminary bidding.
Right, that's a really big preliminary bid. Nice for this vehicle.
Sold to the highest bidder.
And they got it. That's it for our second Hot on the Block auction.
Going once, going
now
twice.
We're moving on to New Britain,
Going
Connecticut. It's a 2004 Lexus GX 470.
That's a nice ride.
It is. Has some side damage.
Going
it's
once,
black.
going twice.
66,000 miles on it.
Has that 4.7 liter motor too. The thing really gets up and moves. Nice driving vehicle.
Lebanon and Quebec going back and forth right now. I'm going to keep watching this one, Greg. Well, Greg tells you about the Copart members.
Jim Pantas is a Copart regular, winning cars nearly every week. Most of those are for his customers, but a few he's held on to, even though that hasn't always been his first choice. With Lee Van Tine behind the wheel, Jim Pantas carefully gets his daughter's race car out of the trailer. This pink BMW, with plenty of dents and dings, is how she's experienced races with the National Auto Sports Association firsthand. It's one of the few cars Jim has held on to. Most he sells as soon as he gets done fixing them up. But this one just couldn't find a buyer.
It's a stock 93 Z28. We bought it at Copart last year. Brought it here, and it sat here for about 3-4 months, and I was basically trying to see if I could find somebody that wanted the car as is. Nobody ever took me up on it. Of course, the economy was slow, so we figured that's what happens.
Instead, Jim held onto the car and soon put it to good use.
Why don't we go ahead and build it, and we'll break it in the 9-hour race. If it makes it all 9 hours, we've done something right. During that 9-hour endurance run, Jim learned some valuable information about his car. They have a speed limiter of 105 miles an hour. And so we would go down the back straightaway at Road Atlanta, get to about 1/3 of the way down the straightaway, and it felt like somebody throwing the car in reverse. Despite being slow during that race, Jim fell in love with the car. He later learned how to get rid of the speed limiter, now cruises at whatever speed he wants, and is committed to keep cruising for a long time to come. We'll run it as long as we can, and actually it's already current points leader in the Southeast for Camaro Mustang Challenge. And so we'll, until somebody comes up and hands us money for it, we'll keep racing it.
Jim's Camaro is now running 2 Enduros and 6 sprint races, and Jim sure is happy his Camaro didn't sell.
With over 50,000 vehicles a day to choose from, there's no end to the variety of vehicles on Copart.com. Most look like daily drivers you see everywhere, but others, well, it's time for our specialty item of the week. Check this out. If you have allergies like mine and can't quite sleep under the stars just yet, this is perfect. It's a 2007 Outback travel trailer. This thing has everything you need: a bed, a full kitchen, plenty of storage. Now all you need are some marshmallows and graham crackers. It goes up for auction just in time for spring break on April 9th in Des Moines, Iowa. Here's a live auction look at Indianapolis. Is a 2010 Mercury Mariner. It's been rolled over. Right now there's Illinois and Peru bidding on it.
Very nice. And don't forget, you can go to the Copart lots and check out these vehicles beforehand. So if you have any interest in them, you can check it out. Hey, you're watching Copart Sold in Seconds. Hey, let's get back to the like. Welcome back to Copart Sold in Seconds. Hey, Jamie, I'm in the mood for another hot on the block auction. Can you hook an old dude up?
Well, I sure can. This is our third and final, Greg, so pay attention. It's a 1959 NASH Metropolitan. Unlike its previous model years, this Series 4 version has, get this, the newly introduced trunk lid. Instead of just the backseat access, it also has vented windows. This one has a clean Indiana title and the traditional two-tone paint in black and white. Let's see who got her.
Love that trunk lid. That's awesome.
It's a big improvement. Started at $45.50. The run and drive verification. Just a cool looking car. Kentucky, Illinois.
Going twice.
Kind of cool to have something like this, like if you were in high school or whatever, you know, live
That'd
close
be
to
awesome,
school, you're
yeah.
rolling around. Tight, son.
Going once,
Tight.
going twice.
Like the two-tone paint.
I do too.
Going once, going
Black and white
twice.
kind of gives it that gangster flair a little bit.
Oh yeah, full-on gangster.
Going once, going twice.
Still Kentucky and Illinois.
Yep, and this is how fast this bidding works.
Sold to the highest bidder.
There it goes, and that wraps up our last hot on the block of the show.
Well, let's check out another
Going
live
once,
auction. This
going
one's
twice.
out of the Hartford lanes in New Britain, Connecticut. It's a 2010 Toyota Camry.
Crispy critter, it's burned up.
It is.
Still has some value for some people.
Going once,
You know,
going
There's
twice.
plenty of good parts on that thing. A recycler could really use it.
why not?
Massachusetts, Ontario.
Going once, going twice.
Well, that's all the live bidding I can take for now.
Here's a math quiz for you. Buy one Copart car, add one more Copart car, and how many Copart cars do you have? Well, if you're the Copart customer we're about to meet, the answer is 1. In an industrial park in Naperville, Illinois, next to a dog adoption place and some train tracks, we caught up with a woman who is very comfortable in what traditionally is a man's world.
I know a lot for average girl.
Laura Bratkovskite started learning when she came to America from Lithuania and purchased a rebuilt car. She saw a business opportunity, and pretty soon Rebuilt Cars was born.